Hey there. I decided to sneak off into my room to talk to you about my Monday update regarding my health journey that I've restarted for myself. Um, a week ago Monday, I jumped on the scale, had another shock of my life. Got all depressed and decided I'm going to just start all over and get this thing figured out. And I had worked with intermittent fasting last year, and I did actually really well with it. And so I'm going back at it now. I have listened to YouTubes by Mindy Pelz, Dr. Pelz, and I do have some of her books. Fast Like a Girl is one of them. And lately I've been reading two books by Jason Fung. He's a Canadian nephrologist. And I finished reading Obesity Code again, and I'm now reading his brand new book called The Hunger Code, because, yeah, hunger is one of the things that gets you making bad decisions as to what you're going to put in your pie hole. And let's see here. And I also am reading a book by Jen Stevens, although the Jen and Dr. Fung disagree with probably on the issue of carbs, the intake of carbs. I am going to be maybe right now following more of Jason Fung's version of things. I like how he explains that it's not just as simple as calories in versus calories out. It just isn't that simple. I mean, if that was the case, then we would all be slim pretty much. That it's more your hormones run the show inside of your body. And after the age of 60, a lot of those hormones we don't even have anymore. And the big one for putting on weight, putting on or storing fat on your body is insulin. And if you've gotten as big as I am, chances are you've got some insulin resistance going on as well. And so I want to clear that up. One of the issues I have to deal with around here is the eating that I'm putting myself on for protocol is more closer to keto, low carb. And that is vastly different than my husband and our 10-year-old eat. And so if you're cooking for the family, you're doing other things than what you're taking in yourself. And some of the struggles I had this past week is smelling the delicious smells of when Owen is cooking. Let's say I ate what I was going to eat for the day, and then a few hours later he's making bacon, and oh my goodness, the smell is so good, and it makes you hungry again. And so that's one of the struggles I have. And I also, as far as going for walks and stuff, actually yesterday morning I gibbled my back, and basically I sat wrong, and you could hear it. And at first it wasn't too bad, and well, now it's very, very painful. And I'm taking Flexeril for that, and some painkillers. And yeah, that makes your mouth dry, makes my voice a little crackly. And for me, this is going to be, I know I have to work on my core as well, but it is also my history in that I did a really bad damage to my back when I was a baby RN. And I was helping a lady from her wheelchair onto the toilet, and it was kind of a tight, squishy spot, and she proceeded to fall. Her legs gave out, and what do? Your reaction is to hold them up. And well, I got pulled around and down too, kind of did a twist and a tear in the fascia on my back, and that took a long time to heal. And now I can. It goes bad for no particular reason at all. There are times I'm carrying heavy things and nothing. Another time I can stand up and you'll hear it, or you'll reach to get a pencil and it goes out for another week or two. It's that kind of a back thing that I'm having to build and strengthen again. It's one of my challenges anyway. And it does help for me to walk, but I can't walk too far, and I got to be careful outside because being very tender and it's very icy out, that I'm doing more of my walking up and down in the house as much as I can, not so much outside yet. Although this coming up week is going to be beautiful. It's going to go to plus 14. It's already warming up. I can hear the thundering noise of the snow sliding off the roof and onto the ground. It's kind of great. And one of the things that we should do, especially if you got health issues, is to check in with your doctor. Get your labs done to see where you are as far as vitamin D, your magnesium, and whatnot's in your system, to see if you're diabetic or not. That's kind of important. Let them know what you're planning. And I had done that, about July last year. I had told him what I was doing. He had taken my labs again, and he had saw lots of good improvements actually in my blood work, and he had asked what I was doing, and so I explained, and he was quite happy for me, and there was no reason why I cannot continue with this intermittent fasting. And I decided from reading Jin and Dr. Fung that I'm going to be fasting, yes, but I'm going to make my fasting hours different each day. I'm going to mix it up a lot. And some days I'm going to have a big window of eating for 8 hours, and another time I'll just eat once a day, just a big meal. Just kind of mess it up so your body doesn't get used to it, and then start slowing the process down. We have to make sure, especially us that are over 60, our muscles are decreasing if we're not lifting weights or doing resistance training. We're losing muscle, every year since the age of 30. And so you got to make sure you have enough protein coming in that you're able to maintain the muscles you have, or if you're also doing resistance training, that you have enough protein there to make it all work together nicely. And also, folks our age, we tend to get ourselves a little bit dehydrated. And so got to make sure that we are up to snuff as far as our hydration is concerned. Sure, you can have the coffee in the daytime, which is fine, but it is a bit dehydrating. But have your green teas, have your waters. I do that sparkling water, like bubbly, or like that Perrier stuff. Just get in as much fluids as you can, just to keep you plumped up and fluid. Because, isn't that one of the the biggest element in our body itself is water. So just got to keep that up, because if you're not watching your proteins, if you're not dealing with your hydration, you could become even dizzy. It could affect your blood pressure. You could end up falling, and that's, for our age, that's an issue, because harder to get up, do more damage to yourself. So just make sure you're getting yourself well hydrated, especially during the fasting times. And for me, if you're feeling a little funky, I'll do, let's say, chicken bone broth. I made a big vat of that this past week. Taking in the bone broth also helps with the collagen and whatnot in your body. And also, if you're short on salt, because salt is one of the important elements in your system, just half a cup of pickle juice. As we eat our pickles, I'm the one that's saving the pickle juice in the jars in the fridge for just these occasions. And it just hits the spot when you're feeling a little bit during the fasting time. Some of the benefits of this intermittent fasting is you get better sugar control, and it'll help with your insulin resistance, because we were taught, I don't know how long ago, to do 6 small meals a day, right? 6 small meals, spread it out. Well, your body never gets a chance to not have carbs and foods coming in, and always be spiking your sugar, always keeping that insulin being pumped out. It never just gets a chance to go back to normal. And so if one can just have their window to eat in, whatever that window is, 6 hours, 4 hours, 1 hour, 12 hours, whatever it is, but just cut it at the end so that your body has a chance to have your insulin deal with your blood sugars. And so your blood sugar levels should be looking better if you do the intermittent fasting, and especially if you do it with more of a keto type of diet, less carbs, especially less of the junk carbs, the white carbs, the candies, all the delicious foods that are not good for you, because they just spike your sugars right away. And even things like, let's say, white rice and potatoes, if you can put them in the fridge and then eat them the next day, it makes it less of a sugar jump for you, less of less of an issue with your insulin. Another benefit is it helps you with your weight management because you're fasting and you have your windows of eating closed. Well, there's less of that picking and less of that night eating, and for the longer fasts, less of even thinking about putting food in your, it just naturally becomes putting you into a calorie deficit, or generally it does. Sometimes you can, I know I can, in a window of 4 hours, I can pile in a lot of calories, and now I'm just defeating the purpose. So just eat normally when you do eat. Don't just be binging during those windows, because you're defeating the purpose. I mean, you might be doing something that's good for your insulin and whatnot in your bodies, but still, if you're piling in a lot of food, it's gonna just, well, you know what I'm saying. You're gonna keep on gaining the weight. Just make sure in your windows, when you do eat, that you, most of the time, you take in very nutrient dense foods that are good for you. Your vegetables, your berries, especially berries, especially the, let's say, blueberries and blackberries and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, keep your food as clean and healthy and whole as you can, and stay away from all that processed stuff as much as possible. You can hear my voice getting all crackly because of the Flexeril I'm on for my back, if you'll excuse me. And with the longer fast that you do, earlier in the year, I had joined with a friend of mine on a 3-day fast, and that will lend your body to autophagy, and that is the cleaning up of the broken cells, the garbage cells, just cleaning it all up, and that can help you with your brain health. It just helps you just to clear out all the crap. Now, there is some risks associated with this style of eating, and one is that you might become, let's say, dizzy or low energy, and like I said, you don't want to be falling, so you just got to make sure you are eating enough in your windows to prevent all that. You could also have some nutrient deficiencies, and so just assess what you're eating to see that you've got all the protein you need. Take your multivitamin on the times that you're fasting, just to make sure of that. And there's sometimes a clash as far as the medications that you're on. You might have to take it with food. So that's another thing you have to work around and think on. And I'll do some research and see just how much you have to take in to be okay. Maybe it's just some MCT oil in your coffee or whatnot, or some butter in your coffee. Maybe something like that is enough to be considered as a food for your belly. I'll just check into that. Some tips for seniors: start low and slow is what they say, right? Don't jump to the big 72-hour fast. Start with, let's say, 12 and 12, right? You don't eat for 12 hours, and then you do have the next 12 hours you have your 3 meals or your 2 meals, right? And then try to stretch your fasting times just a little bit long, an hour at a time, till it gets to where you're maybe, I don't know, 20 and 4, and then maybe want to try 36-hour fast, see how it goes. I mean, people do it all the time for any number of reasons, and all the religions in the world. Fasting is good for you, and it's a normal thing for folks to do. Make sure you're well hydrated. Again, pickle juice if you are feeling like you need a little pickup. Bone broth, the sparkling waters, just plain water, coffee, green teas, nothing that has sugar or anything like that in it. Even to put your stevia or your whatever sugar in your coffee, it's still going to spike your insulin. Your body's going to think you've got something sweet in there, and your insulin's going to be coming. And so if you're doing that to think that you are not spiking anything in your body, you are, just the fact that it's sweet. And when you're starting, try to avoid really heavy workouts in your fasting time until you get more used to what you're doing. Some people swear by fasting, working out when they fast. Other people just find that they don't have the energy to give it a real good effort. So just like me, you just count yourself as an experiment of one, just to see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. You know, when I started this On Monday, I, of course, weighed in, and I took my measurements, which horrified me. And I did take a photo of myself just so that I can take monthly photos and measurements, and at some point put a little clip together of changing sizes. I did order up a small kind of a yoga bra thing so that I can take a picture of what I really look like, because all my clothes are baggy and they kind of cover everything and you really won't be able to notice what's going on. So I bit the bullet and bought this thing, and I think it's in town, and I'll go get it tomorrow. But I'm a little nerve-wracked getting into it because, yeah, it doesn't look good. It really doesn't look good at all. And for my results this week, I weighed in again this morning. Well, I weigh in every day, and I've been keeping track. But I weighed in this morning, and I'm down 3.2 pounds. I've been checking my fat burning and my carb burning through this lumen, and basically in the when you get up in the morning and before you go to bed, you have this on your phone. It's an app, and when it tells you to, you suck in through this, you hold it for 10 seconds, and you blow back out again, and it does a reading, and it's kind of cool. There are times where my reading shows me that I'm just doing carbs when I had just only eaten meats and stuff, and you are also affected with your carb burning by if you have crappy sleeps even. Okay, so, and I do, and I can see when that affects me as well. But this week my lumen readings were better. My weight is down 3.2, and I've decided to try this everything's an experiment, right? So I've been looking online at different recipes and whatnot at on the keto sites, just to see, just because I got to change things in the kitchen just to make me happier, and maybe if there are things that the whole family like, we can bring it into our eating rotation, which would be cool. And so this week I tried to do a keto pizza, and so I'm going to show you what it looked like, and then come to find out that my husband made Jasmine's lunch, and she'd asked that some of that pizza be put into her lunch for school. And I did film her reaction video, and that's kind of cute. And yeah. Darling, you know that I did an experimental pizza for my diet, the low carb version, and Dad accidentally put some of my pizza in your lunch. What did you think of it?
The crust tasted like cardboard, but the cheese was the best part. Those two together, those tasted like throw up.
So it's a no.
Yeah.
On to the next experiment. I've been focusing more on protein and more whole foods, and realizing that even the protein bars are just kind of like dressed up regular bars. There's not a whole lot great in them. And yeah, they do spike my sugars as well. So I did find that out. And my plans for this week is to put at least one 36-hour fast in there. And again, vary the times of my eating and the times of my fasting so that my body doesn't get used to it. Just kind of mix it up a bit. I'm going to up my walking again, just now that the weather is getting nicer. And yeah, chances are I'll do it without Gus, because Gus tends to pull me off my feet, and with my back being kind of iffy, I don't need him causing an issue and hurting me all over again. So the long walks I'll do without him. Oh yeah, and I'm going to find another recipe or two to try and see if I can add that into the family rotation. But yeah, I'll let you know next Monday how it all goes. I'll see you in a few days on a different topic entirely. This is Annette from Carpe, Omnia After 60. Take care.